right. So I'm a little late and slow in getting this recap to you guys. Just with race and then travel and trying to play catch up on life. It is now Friday. I have not caught up on life. And I am now just now sitting down to kind of give you a little bit of a recap. I don't have a lot of, in fact, I have none, video footage of race day. It's very challenging to watch two children on your own and provide footage. So Brandon wasn't able to really get any. He is going to try, hopefully, for Texas, but at the same time, it's just, we may not get a lot of footage during race until we have some help for it. So anyways, that's kind of besides the point. We're here to talk about the race. So yeah, Texas 70.3, awesome day. I went into this race really desperately wanting the overall win. I have been working for one for a while, and I just been coming up like this close repeatedly, constantly coming in second overall. I've taken a lot of second overalls in the last couple of years. And so I really wanted that overall, and I knew that basically I was gonna have to just try to do whatever it took, and I'd have to really focus on doing my own day, focusing on my own day, nobody else's day, and making that kind of like the overall piece. So it had been really windy leading up into the race, so I wasn't 100% sure how the bike was gonna go. So for those of you that are in Texas 70.3, it's extremely flat, but let me tell you, there can be a headwind. You will get a beautiful tailwind on the way out, but a wicked headwind on the way back. 2 days before, I'd been doing a practice ride, and it was horrendously windy, where you were going 30 miles an hour on the way out and working your butt off to go 18 miles an hour on the way back. So was really hoping maybe we were gonna have a day like that, and guess what? We got really lucky, and it was a beautiful day out there. Beautiful morning, calm morning. Wind did pick up on the bike a bit, and it did get a bit warm, but nothing too, astronomically challenging. So race morning, pretty standard race morning. Honestly nothing to report. Arrived, normal time frame. Had a hard time getting into my wetsuit, which was fun. I haven't put one on since Arizona, and I was sticky and just could not get it over my legs. So that was just a wonderful way to start the day. I ended up not being able to get myself into a really great starting position in the roll down or roll out for the swim start. And ended up starting further back than I anticipated. I kind of kept looking at my watch, being like, gosh, it's been 5, 6, 7 minutes almost since they got everybody going. But it was just kind of one of those where it was what it was, and I knew, it would all even out in the end. Hopped in the water. Water actually just felt really great. Not too wavy, a little bit of chop, but nothing crazy. And throughout this entire swim, I basically focused on one thing. I told myself, smooth is fast. I've been kind of fighting the water a lot lately, and I didn't want to fight the water. So I focused really hard on just saying smooth is fast. Trying really hard to smooth out my stroke, not try to, go fast, but just be smooth and controlled, and feel the water kind of, throughout the whole thing. Nothing too crazy to report from the swim. I was hoping to be a little bit faster. I'm kind of stuck at this 32-minute mark. And I need to be a little bit faster than that. So we'll work on that. But all in all, a really good swim. I was able to pass people, never really got passed. So for starting out further back, I was able to kind of bridge a little bit of the gap I, had maybe put myself under. Got a little off course at the beginning, so maybe swam a little bit extra, but again, nothing too crazy to report. It was a pretty simple swim with, nothing crazy. So, got out of the water and, moved a little slower than I would have liked in transition. I definitely need to be a little bit faster than that. I just wasn't moving super fast. But again, nothing that I feel like is too, astronomically bad. hopped on the bike, and this is where I said, this is where the race starts for me. This is where the fun begins. And I hopped on and said, okay, let's have some fun. I really enjoy bike courses where you put your head down and you just go, and you have to, there's no letting up, there's no relaxing. You just have to stay on the pedals, consistency, and really kind of go for it. I really enjoy those. I like courses with climbing as well, but there's something about a course where you just have to put your head down and be the person who can, grin and bear it the longest. At about mile 5, I went over something too fast and lost one of my infinite bottles, which had my calories in it. So I was down to 1 bottle, which I knew was not even remotely going to be enough calories and electrolytes. And so I kind of had to feel like, okay, I'm going to conserve my nutrition as much as I can, and grabbed gels at every aid station and shoved them down my jersey, and just trying to make sure I had enough calories on board, because I knew I was going to be pushing a really high intensity factor for this, and wanted to make sure that I kept up on those pieces. So basically throughout the rest of the time, I really just focused on being, having a really high effort, keeping myself in control, being smooth, being steady, really staying focused on the pedals and my cadence, because that's always like a really good focal point for me. The whole first half of the race, I really kind of did on my own, which was really nice. Just kind of, would pass people, and then being able to, stay past them and bridge, all those gaps. And so no issues with like crowding or anything on the first half. It wasn't until the second half of the race that things got interesting. The wind definitely created these wonderful little groups that, trying to keep this semi-polite here, really liked to converge around women and let the women do the work to try to break them. I don't know how to better put that. So that was really frustrating, especially when you're someone who, like, every minute counted for me, and I was so afraid of getting caught with a drafting penalty because that could have, that would have almost lost me the race. And so it was one of those where I was trying to maintain a very steady about 210 on the power, and they would just come by you, converge around you, and you'd have to pull back to like 180, kind of let that kind of settle in and get there, and then I would have to gun it at like 260 watts to try to get around this group. And then you're trying to, every time I would try really hard to kind of break the group, snap the rubber band, but that meant I'd have to hold like 220 to 230 watts, and I'm not out of space in my life right now with training where I can hold 230 watts for very long. And so I couldn't just quite break away from that piece. And so it was a lot of constant, like, okay, back off to so that I didn't get caught with any drafting penalty, go around, surge really hard, and then try to hang on, do it again. And so that was really frustrating. I do think I actually lost, maybe a minute and a half because of that. Which is a definite, frustration. So, eventually, is able to kind of get through pass and break everything up and not have to worry about it for the last little bit. But that was definitely a frustrating piece, where we just had to kind of deal with. So, came off the bike, with a 2:22 split, which I'm really proud of. That's my fastest bike to date, and I definitely worked for it. So I went out on that bike course to go for it. I told myself, you're going to bike all out. You're biking for the win. You're going to go all out 100%. Got off the bike, had a little bit of hard time getting my socks and shoes on. So again, transition was a little slower than I would have liked, easily 30 seconds slow, which again, when you're fighting for something and you're down, that every little bit counts. Got off the bike and, wasn't 100% sure where I was. I had a feeling I was in kind of that top 3-4-ish. Saw my friend Valerie, who told me I was in third, but I was like 10 minutes down, and then saw my husband and kids after that, and again was confirmed that same thing. And at that time frame, I said, okay, well, 10 minutes down, like I'm not 100% sure if I can do anything about that. But all I'm going to do today is I am going to focus on me. This is my day. This is my run. I know that I can run the speed that I need to run to have one of the best runs that I can. And if I focus on the people out who are ahead of me, then I'm going to lose track of myself. So I said, you are going to have to fight with everything that you've got in order to give yourself a chance to win. And if you run your race, you maybe have that shot. And that's literally all I focused on. The nice thing about the Texas 70.3 course is it's in 3 loops. So I focused on each loop at a time and just one loop at a time, 100%. What do I need to do right now in order to run to be my best self? And I would constantly, throughout the entire race, tell myself, you have to fight for it. You have to fight for this with every bit of everything that you've got. And if you do that, then you don't know what's going to happen. Maybe you'll reel them in. Maybe you won't. But at the end of the day, what you'll do is you'll cross the finish line knowing that you gave everything you had. So I just kind of focused on that piece. I was a little behind on calories, so I took, I took gels at every single aid station, which I ended up paying for later on. My stomach did not like that, but focused on making sure I got my calories in, making sure I kept up on hydration, and stayed, very much within myself, and letting, using the idea of like, okay, just keep moving forward, keep pushing through every kind of piece that you could. And basically about every 4 miles, I saw my friend Val and I saw my husband, and after the first one, they would tell me that I had made up a lot of time in that first 4 miles, and that I was within striking distance now. And so that gave me a lot of motivation, a lot of fuel to kind of hold on and hang in there. And I kept just telling myself, okay, all you have to do is run this pace for 4 miles, and that's it. And then I would run that pace and then, focus on the next. I found out at about mile 9-ish that I had taken the lead by about 2 minutes. So I had one more loop, and I was told basically you just have to hang in on that pace that you're running, and you'll be able to, you'll take the win. And so at that time frame, I basically just said, there is no way you will lose this. You will do whatever it takes to get this. And that's where I just kept my focus, is what do I need to do right now in order to win this race. So it was honestly one of the most fun races I've done in a really long time, just because I felt like I always kept myself in contention. I kept myself fighting for something that I wanted. And even when I was down, I was never out. And that was a lot of fun. It was really I love when you can have to push yourself way far outside that comfort zone to try to find what it is that you're trying to get. So really just an amazing day. I am really unbelievably just thankful and grateful for the day. I needed a day like that coming out of Ironman Arizona, having not gotten a chance to kind of showcase where I thought I was. I did have a little bit of doubt going into are my goals too far outside of myself? Am I ever going to take the overall? Can I do this? And I think getting the chance to get out there and show that I can was really empowering and really impactful for me and what I needed, and kind of moving forward. So just really, really great day. Fabulous day. I love that course. I love that race. It's definitely one of those where you just really can go out and give every ounce of yourself on it, because yes, it is a quote unquote easier course, but at the same time, there's a lot of elements that can really make it more challenging. So thank you to everybody who was out there. I apologize if you shouted at me while I was running. When I get really in the zone, I do not hear things. And I have doesn't process fast enough to be able to respond. So if I didn't respond, I apologize, but thank you. I can tell you that I know I felt it. I could hear it, I could hear it and I could feel it. And the cheer and the support and everything that everybody has given me over these years is just so amazing. And I'm just so thankful for all of it, and just really excited for the rest of the season and see what we've got out there. We got Ironman Texas coming up here in about 2 weeks, so if you're racing out there, I'll see you there.